Hey everybody, and welcome back. This is episode 4 of my Final Fantasy VI T-Edition run-through. If you're just tuning in, we are about to head down the Lethe River. Our party right now is Ben, Edgar, Terra, and we have guest Banon. So here's the thing about Banon. We won't be able to see anything about him, except for his stats. That's not really important, or what the big deal about Banon is. Unfortunately, Banon must stay alive, so we've got him in the back row. He does have free heal ability with the Prey ability. I'm hoping that it heals as well as it does in the normal, original version. But as we mentioned in the last video, Terra is going to be kind of important for this next section, and the fact that she still only has 150 something hit points is concerning. More concerning is the fact that once we begin this path, we can't go back, which limits our ability to level up. So I am going to throw a safety save here, in case we are unable to do this on a couple of attempts and we need to go level grind a little bit. Then we won't be completely in trouble. Alright. So here we learn if Banon falls, it's game over. Banon must stay alive. So Banon is just going to be back row healing. The Say Again, another new add to this T-Edition. Not normally here. Awesome. Okay, so we were in good hands with that Prey ability. Still does not help us with the Terra low HP. Banon even seems like he's a little low HP for where he should be. You notice I did a lot of attacking even with people in the back row there. I'm just kind of timing to see how many hit points these individuals have. These bad guys, if you will. Because right before we get to the boss, I'm going to want to take a... Whoops, messed that up. Take a little time and heal up my party with Banon's help. So just trying to get a pulse of like how much it takes to beat these guys. So there's really not going to be a whole lot to say as far as story or plot on this episode. We're going to be heading down this river for quite a little bit. Afterwards, major things happen. I do feel like the enemies here are taking a little bit more damage than usual. Seems like usually these battles are pretty quick. A couple of hits from each person. A good chunk of experience there. So you saw we came to like a go straight left and right junction. We took a left. That is the proper path forward. If we went straight, or if we went right, it would just circle back, loop back, and we would come right back to that same point again. Now the purposes of those loops are, you know, obviously to make it a little bit of a puzzle, but also to give an opportunity for extra battles leveling up in case one finds that they need to level up. But you're caught in this perpetual path. You won't ever be able to save or even go into your menu. So it's not really an ideal way of leveling up, which is why we did that save earlier. Yeah, these guys are taking far more of a beating than they usually normally would. I do appreciate that we're getting some sizable experience and might even be possible to get a couple levels before the boss. So we are going to get 2 of these checkpoints where we will be able to save, but again, as I mentioned, we have a secondary slot for these little safety saves. I will be conserving MP with Terra as much as I am able to. Mostly because of the price of tints. Normally I would kind of have stocked up on tints and be a little bit more liberal in using them. Get that MP back quickly. Another reason why these battles might have normally gone quicker. Having to be a little bit more attentive to resources. Edgar's crossbow just ain't getting the job done. I think maybe that got nerfed a little bit in the T-Edition. Maybe I should have grabbed... You know what? I need to stop relying on the same strategies. As I mentioned, I kind of passed on his other tools because I felt like they were not as effective as the auto crossbow, but that could have changed. I'm making assumptions based on the other version of the game, fully realizing that this version is different at certain areas. I'm trying to reflect on whether I will get an opportunity to get those tools or not. Might be able to. Definitely, I'll definitely have an opportunity at some point. It may be several hours yet. So we are actually about 2 or 3 battles away from the boss of this stage. Maybe as little as 1. I still don't know how the battles work here. So we're going down this river, and the battles are actually not at fixed locations. They are based on either a timer or some sort of a pixel count, and it is random. It is truly random. Oh, what is that? That could have been very bad. Now, that was very interesting what just happened, because I do know that with these enemies that is a move that is part of their programming, but I've never actually seen them use that on the river. The reason why I know that's a move they can do will go into probably the next episode or 2 with another character that we'll get, and his ability to use the same moves as the monsters that we face. So because of him, I know of moves that some of these monsters that we face, they don't actually use in battle, but they have them. That's an example of that. I've never actually seen him use that move. So here we have another hint on what enemies are capable of doing in this version. They can use some of those moves that are part of their programming, but just because of an event that normally has to get triggered, I guess, and that doesn't normally. Am I missing something? Why does Banon have a little symbol next to him? Is that a blind? Okay. Alright, so we are as good as we're going to get right here, I think. It is possible that Sven and possibly even Edgar can get another level before this boss fight. I have a little bit of OCD, so you will see me saving 2 or 3 times, because I do not like to be wrong. I have thought I have saved before, and it was really bad after. Alright, so we're going to fall down this little waterfall here. Take this little turn, possible battle here. If not, okay, good. We got a little preemptive strike. Probably could have thrown a fire with Terra. I have enough MP picked up at this point. What I'm going to do is pass on Banon's next turn and come back to him and have one monster left. Get it out, Banon. Good. So that slight delay on blitzes is something else that I've noticed. I'm gonna have to start incorporating that in preparation for battle strategy, knowing that it's not coming out as soon as I put in the input. And here we got everyone's oh, the music's different here. So this music plays for an Ultros battle later, not normally here. So Ultros is going to be our friend for at least 4 boss battles that we'll see today. I say at least because there is a possible way of triggering him in a different area later in the game. So this is why we wanted Terra here, is he is weak to fire. I'm very afraid of a move that he can do called Tentacle. Because Tentacle could potentially knock out Terra in one hit. Yeah, there we go. I am going to have to use one of my very precious Phoenix Downs here. I'm having a hard time with Blitz inputs today, aren't I? Normally playing on a controller, I am playing on a computer right now, and just the muscle memory's just not there, I guess. Don't let this be that. Yeah, that was everyone. Alright, so we may have to do this Sans Fire. Then can take a couple hits, that's fine. Alright, did that on purpose because I wanted to make sure that I got this order of moves immediately after that temple. That already cost me way more than I'd like for it to have cost me with the Phoenix Downs, inexpensive as they are. We're back up and running. Hey, that's a new line for Edgar. He normally didn't have a line for Edgar. The arrows keep missing, so I guess that's the way that they're balancing out the auto crossbow in this version. So I cannot rely on the old standard just shoot everything with a crossbow. Yep. Game over. Wow. Just like that. Wow. Okay. See, that's as easy as this could be. Normally Banon has a little bit more hit points, and that would make that not have been a problem. So, let's give it another try. I thought that the battle was going really well up to that point. I guess we have a little glimpse into some of the strategy, but there's just no way to block that. That's just going to be something that happens. Because he got hit by the tentacle that hits everybody, and then he got targeted by that specific tentacle, which is how that works. He'll hit everybody, then he'll hit one. The only way I can think of guarding that is to keep Banon in low health, and then I think Sven's got True Knight on him, he'll jump over and protect. But Banon's HP is in such a weird position where it would be difficult to get him to low health without actually having him die, getting him there. Additionally, his ability of curing everybody would cure himself as well and take him out, so that's not even a strategy we can use. He also will not allow me to equip anything to boost his defense, so I think we're just, this is going to be a luck-based battle here. That does not make me happy. Another thing that you'll notice that also scares me a little bit, that when we got that game over, normally what would happen is it would automatically take you back to the last save point, but allow you to keep any experience that you had earned. So if you had gained a level, you would keep that level and just be back at the last save point. Because it took us back to the main menu instead, I had to load the save file, and that is not a thing anymore. So, I hope that I'm leveled up and prepared enough for this, but that's a real fear I've got now. That I won't be able to just continually go through the loop of game overs and gain a little bit more and gain a little bit more and gain a little bit more experience. That's not a thing we can do now. So I do have the safety save from before we jumped into the river, but let's give this another shot. I did miss some blitz inputs the first time around, so there's a possibility we can get through a little faster this time. Now I am also using the R cannon by Sven because he is weak to like everything, and that includes Holy. I'd hate to waste a turn on a theory, but I wonder if I did some of his other... blitzes, whether they would do more damage. Okay. That did about the same. Doesn't look like there's much of a difference there. I was trying to time it between the tentacle move, but Banon's turn wasn't up just yet. Come on, get it off. Thank you. That's fine. You can hit Sven as much as you'd like. Sven actually, for all my gripes of hit points on Terra and Banon, Sven actually has a few more than he normally has here, if I'm not mistaken. Well, it's not Banon at least. Edgar's about to get one. Ooh! Got lucky on that one. She's gonna get hit by an ink. Should be able to survive it. Ooh! Got the dodge! Like where we're going with this. Come on. A little bit more. Yes! Whew. This is making me nervous. This Ultros boss, to be fair, is the first boss that takes a little bit of paying attention to what you're doing. But it shouldn't have been that hard. We got an adventure ahead of us, guys. I like how we're just kind of like sitting, we were floating down a river, we're just not really moving anywhere right now for a minute. I do like they can joke about this a little bit because they know that Sabin is self-sufficient, he'll be alright. Alright, so this takes us to a place where our story splits into three. Edgar and Tara race toward Narsha, protecting Banon. We still gotta protect him. But what of Sabin, who went to the right? And how is Locke doing after getting into South Figaro? Is everything going according to plan? So we can now officially connect to that first save point. Mog becomes our little proxy just to pick which scenario we're going to do. We are going to save Sabin's for last because it is the funnest. Locke is also a ton of fun, but I think Locke's is going to deserve his own episode. Sabin's is actually going to take probably 2 because of how long it is. So let's go ahead and follow our trio here. This actually should only take about 5 to 10 minutes unless something funny happens. So the raft continues down the river, hopefully without any more battles, because now we only have... And we have no control over like preparing for this. It's just like we just got to go all out. I am hoping that is the only battle we'll have to face. I'm in a bad spot right now. This game is really taking it to me. Much like with above, we're going to throw a little save split. These monsters are from the beginning of the game. We're safe to just kind of sneak in here. Now, if we were to attempt to go in, they recognize Terra, which of course we ran away because of her earlier. But if we remember, Narsha is technically neutral in this war. So even though they probably do recognize Banon and even Edgar, they don't really have any loyalties to either. We are going to step inside here and drink from this nice little bucket. Should bring everybody back up and running. So if we recall, Locke said someday we might find that secret passage is handy. Well, that day has come. That line is different than knowing a Locke there's probably a secret passage around here. It does make sense that Edgar would have to have known exactly how. Oh, and there's that cool music. So for the first screen or so, it's going to be the monsters that we fought when we were earlier and Terra was like level 4. So these guys should fall pretty quick even from the back row. Like Terra probably will be gaining a level here soon. This, however, is a different section of the mines, and so the monsters are probably going to be a little bit different here. That top guy might absorb fire, we're about to see. These specters are different. Sprite is from Final Fantasy VI, but the color and who they are not normally here. Dark Side, named differently, but usually is here. Kind of hanging around though, isn't it? There we go. We got Drain. So I normally never use Drain just because it doesn't functionally have a whole lot of use. I can heal faster and I can do damage faster than it would take to actually use that spell, but it might come into handy as a strategy move. I paused here to finish that thought because when we step up here, we're going to get this little pattern. Same pattern as usual. So we have to follow that light, the pattern that it took. That's an interesting little twist, that it's a training area. So if we stray from the path, a little light is going to surround us. And we have to hit this one little orange thing that's circling around. So normally what I'm supposed to do is go down here. We're going to trigger that light. Little trick that I've learned watching speedrunners on this game. If you just hold the A button when you step into the square, as soon as the hitbox notices that the A button is held down, that light just happens to be straight up. So all you have to do is hold the A button and walk up. So we're back in this room where the monsters are easy as pie. We are not required to go down here. If you'll recall from episode 1 or 2, where we fought with the Moogles down here, we can go visit the Moogles. We're not going to get a whole lot of interesting dialogue. They are very smart. Oh, we just don't speak their language. This one who is not moving stands out and says it slightly differently. That will be Mog, who we will talk to more intellectually later. There's a guy hung around in this. Oh, he went all the way through. Okay. But we did come here because there's a cool weapon here. Rune Blade. So the Rune Blade actually does not do... It does a bit of damage and increases magic power. The problem with the Rune Blade is that it does so at the expense of your MP. So it uses some of your MP to do a little extra damage. I think. I don't know. Maybe that's different. Let's try it out. If it does, then of course we'll not continue to use so. That a little extra attack might be helpful. Also might mean I need to put somebody in the front row. That somebody would probably have to be Edgar since that auto crossbow is just not cutting it. So she has 117. Let's take a swing. From the back row, 98. Really, really good. Okay. Yeah, 15 MP. That is a great amount of damage, clearly not worth it. Now, if somebody has no magic, it doesn't do quite as much damage. So if the question is, well, why don't you give it to Edgar? The answer is I absolutely could. I'm going to let... You know what? Let's do this. He can't use it. I'm going to let her continue to hold it, only because it boosts her magic power a couple speed, a couple ticks there. I can put that mithril sword that Terra had on him. Okay. I'm going to throw a save here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to try something here. Give me that back. Oops, not a dagger, a mithril dagger. That's going to take some getting used to also. Normally I would see mithril knife. Curious if, say for the sake of argument, I do a different scenario. Let Rune Blade be there. Because I can think of a character we're going to meet very soon that could benefit from that. And when I say very soon, we're already done with this scenario. That's how quick and short this one is. So this is important dialogue. If we missed it the first time or if it wasn't clear enough, Arvis spells it out for us. Narsha is neutral. They don't side with the Empire. They don't side with the Returners. The Empire snuck in, and one of their soldiers, Terra, quote unquote, has kind of put a very bad taste in their mouth. So they really don't like the Empire, but they don't want to support the Returners either. The point of Banon and everyone coming here is to hopefully fan those flames of how much they hate the Empire, to have them join the Returners. So because Terra reacted to that Esper earlier, the secondary goal that they have is to have Terra see if it can react to that Esper in such a way as to show that she is fighting for the side everyone should be on, because they're going to have a more power. Because I think at its core, everyone's afraid of the Empire because of their power. And that, my friends, was the end of that scenario. Now, as I mentioned earlier, blocks will probably take somewhere between 25 and 30 minutes. Savin's going to span multiple episodes. It's the longest by far. But because this would be a proper stopping point, we'll go ahead and end the episode now, a couple minutes earlier than we usually do. But really appreciate your watching. Please like, follow, subscribe, comment, all the things people do on YouTube. I'm not in this for the money, and probably at this point have like 50 views, or 5 or 1. But in any case, I'm having fun doing it. So thanks for watching, and when we get back next time, we will be doing a Lox Quest.